Warning: the following podcast has been rated listener R due to strong language, violent situations, drug references, sexual innuendos, and who knows what else. Listener discretion is advised. With that being said, hang on, sugar tits, because we're about to get wobbled.
What is going on, guys? It's Clayton Wobble Elliott back again for the 17th episode of season 2 of the Let's Get Wobbled podcast. I think this is going to be one of the episodes that I do that I'm going to enjoy this by myself. I really do. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get this recorded. Today is Friday, December 27th. Kristen is on her way to a WWE event in Pittsburgh, and I finally got just some time to kick back by myself. I'm here at the house with the dogs, and I have a big announcement to make. So tomorrow will be Saturday, December 28th of 2024. It is the Warthog Christmas party, and I'm getting engaged. I'm super excited. I've been planning this for months. It just is something that I'm ready to do. And Kristen has been my rock through this whole process. And as long as we've known each other, I'm going to take you guys down memory road, just relive some of my experiences with her, some of the trips that we've taken, some of the things we've done as a couple, some of the conversations that we've had as a couple, kind of just where our background comes from and how well we just kind of mesh together. But I'm super excited. It has been so difficult. For those who know me, I'm horrible at keeping secrets. I said that in the last podcast when it comes to Christmas time. But this has been one of the hardest secrets I've ever had to keep, and I felt like I've done a really good job about it. I don't think she knows anything about it. If she does know anything about it, she's playing it off really well. But I don't think she's suspicious at all. I'll take you guys through the whole process of the planning and everything. But I wanted to get this off my chest. I want this to post the next day. So hopefully you guys will have a Sunday episode to listen to. But I can't wait. At the same time, I'm super nervous. I know she's gonna say yes, but like I'm just nervous of the fact that the day's coming and it's a quick turnaround to do it. I know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, but it's all good. I'll take you guys through all of it. First things first, though, I guess I'll tell you about the planning a little bit. So I do know right before it started to get super cold, I wanted to take one last ride this year of 2024. And I was trying to think of what I wanted to do. And I got in touch with Playboy and told him that I wanted to take a little bit of a ride. I don't think Kristen either wasn't able to go or she just didn't feel like going that day, so it was just me and Playboy and Sam. I had already thought about this and what I wanted to propose to Kristen. I already knew that, and I was trying to do it in 2024. I felt like it was a good year. We had done a lot. We had accomplished a lot. This was our first year in our new house that we completed, and was having thoughts about doing it, but was just trying to get everything planned up. So October 13th of this year was when Playboy and I took our ride with Sam, and we stopped for lunch, got some subs, and went down by Seneca Lake. We were sitting out on a picnic table by the lake and just started having a conversation. And that's when I told Playboy, I was like, hey, dude, listen, I wanted you guys to be the first people that I wanted to tell, but I am actively getting a ring for Kristen. I was looking at getting one and pricing them and told them that I was going to propose to Kristen. I just didn't know when really. So they thought it was amazing. You know, they helped me through a lot of the planning phase. I want to thank them for all that they've done through this whole process, but talked to them about it. Then I talked to some more friends about it, some people that I really trusted and I knew that wouldn't share the secret, and just trying to pick people's brains about what I should do, how I should do it. Some really close friends of mine helped me out along the way. But I picked a day that we went ring shopping. I'm not going to disclose that just because I kind of want it to still be a little bit of a secret, and I will share that maybe later on. But picked a date to go ring shopping. I took some friends with me to kind of help me out. Went and I already had in mind what I wanted, but got to the store and found something else that I really liked. So I changed my mind kind of last second on the ring, but the one that I found in store was way better than what I thought the one I had picked out. So purchased the ring. It took forever to get it shipped to me. I was so worried that it wasn't going to come in time because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do it. My original plan was to go to the same place that we had met, take a motorcycle trip up in the spring to the place that Kristen and I met, take the guys from the motorcycle club, all there, have a big dinner, be like our first ride of the year kind of thing, and propose to her where we met in Marietta at the boathouse. But at the same time, with me being bad about keeping secrets, I thought 2025, like that would kickstart the year off to be engaged. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it around Christmas time. That'll be cool. So I got it all planned out. I knew what I was going to do as long as I could get the ring in time. So trying to keep it on the download, didn't tell a whole bunch of people. I was trying to get things figured up. And then I thought, okay, the Warhol Christmas party is coming up in late December. It's going to be after Christmas, but I feel like that would be a really good place to do it. So when Kristen and I kind of first met and like the first year of us talking together, she had told me, like we had talked about, of course, what would we want when we got married and how our life would look and what a wedding would look like. And I'm a big person about taking notes because if I don't write something down, I will forget it. And the chances are, if I do write something down, I'll still forget it and forget that it's written down. But I do know that if I write things down, it does help me. So I took these notes of what she wanted for her ring. And I wish I could remember the conversation that we had because the notes that I took were kind of vague. But the notes that I have that I put down were she wanted different textures. She said different textures is okay. And I think in my mind, what she meant was like something more than just the rock as the centerpiece, or maybe um, just different textures. Once again, I cannot have a podcast here at the house without the fucking dogs barking. Okay, stop it. Nobody's here. But she said different textures was okay. So I took that as like it doesn't just have to be a simple stone in the middle with nothing else. It could be something different. But that's what I took from that. I know she liked an oval diamond. We'd already talked about that. A pointed or braided band. So when I went and looked, I found some really nice braided bands. Um, the ring that I found originally had a center stone and then one, I guess, encasing of smaller stones. So that was the one I was looking for. The size was the hardest part because she never told me what size ring she wore. She knew it was either a 10 or 11, but she wasn't 100% sure what size she was. And I couldn't go and have her get her ring size without her being smart and knowing kind of what I was planning. That was the hardest part through this whole process was I had to figure out a way to go get the ring and a way to figure everything up without her being suspicious, especially with today's day and age. Like her and I have our locations on our phone and she can see where I'm at 24/7. And the real reason that we do that is especially during motorcycle season when I'm riding, when she's not, she can just kind of peek in on me and see where I'm at. Sometimes it's kind of hard. Like if I forget to get off the motorcycle and we're at a bar somewhere stopped or if we're at one of our pit stops, I do forget to text her sometimes. So she likes to see where I'm at when I'm on motorcycle rides just to kind of make sure that I'm still up and still doing okay. And another thing too, she just likes to keep track of where I'm at, like with dinners and everything. If she cooks dinner, she likes to look at my location so that way she can see when I'm going to be home. So that way she knows when to start dinner. I do the same thing. So we've always left each other's location on each other's phone. That way, if we ever needed anything, we could find out where the other person was for just a variety of different reasons. But I've never had a problem doing that with her, and I know she doesn't have a problem doing that with me. It's just one of the things that we compromised on doing, and it was almost mutual. It wasn't really a compromise, but I know some people might look at it as, well, that's a lot. You know, she knows where you're at all the fucking time. I'm like, I have nothing to hide from her. I've told her everything about me. And if she's seen me naked, she's seen probably the worst of it. So really, it can't be that fucking bad. But anyway, the hardest part was the ring size. So I got it sized to an 11 because she thought it was either between a 10 or 11. I can always get the ring resized. but I was kind of worried. I hope it fits. We're going to find out tomorrow. I'm, like I said, just ecstatic about the whole process. But the biggest thing was I had to be careful with what material the ring was made out of. So certain metals will turn her skin green when she wears them. Necklaces and other jewelry I've noticed will turn her skin green. So I went with white gold band. Hopefully that works out. I think that it will. I don't think that will irritate her skin at all, from what I've noticed and from what I've taken notes on and taken into consideration with that. But I told Playboy, like I said, that was something I wanted to do. Did the whole planning phase of it, trying to figure out what I was going to do, how I was going to do it. Knew the Warthog Christmas party was coming up, so I decided on that. Um, like I said, the big reason I decided, I just didn't know if I could keep the secret that long too. That was kind of the hardest part. But I also thought too it was after Christmas. So I was like, that's perfect. A lot of people would suspect that if I was going to propose to her, I would do it Christmas Day or the days leading up or something like that. I didn't realize, I guess, how many people get engaged right around this time of year because I made the comment. And I think that's what's helped me cope with having a secret that I can't tell her is like I've kind of beat around the bush in very, very simple ways to where I felt like she wouldn't know what I was talking about, but at the same time, like I'm still throwing hints at her. Like, so I guess to put it into perspective for you guys, like I would get on Facebook and I'd scroll through and I saw one of our friends got engaged just before Christmas. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's like a nice little Christmas gift is getting engaged. She's like, yeah, a lot of people do it right around this time of year. And then another one of our friends got engaged. And then somebody got engaged on Christmas Day. And then one of the guys I worked with got engaged. And I told her, I was like, man, people are getting engaged left and right. This is crazy. And she's like, yeah, it's just one of the things. She said a lot of people get engaged right around this time of year. I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. I never really noticed it. Just kind of dropping little tiny subtle hints about it. Like, I hope that the hints that I dropped maybe didn't tip my hat, I guess. Like I said, I really don't think she knows anything, but I just feel like in that sense, for me, it was like, oh, I can let this secret out just a little bit without giving away too much information so she doesn't know. But yeah, like I said, I'm super excited. Um, I can't wait till tomorrow. Like I said, I'm still super nervous, and that's why this podcast is probably going to be all jumbled because I just can't even keep my thoughts straight talking about it. I've tried to play it cool here at the house and act like nothing's going on. And I'm just excited for the Christmas party, but
Are you tired of going to great clips and them fucking your shit up?
are you fucking tired of going home and feeling like you ain't even worth getting laid? Come on down to Good Old Boys Barbershop and get you a fresh cut.
Good Old Boys Barbershop, 309 North Street, Caldwell, Ohio, 740-509-2669.
Find him on Facebook, book you an appointment, and get your shit fixed. Walk in the door feeling like shit. You're going to walk out the door feeling like $1,000,000. Coming from Wobble himself, this place is the place to fucking be. If you're in Noble County, if you're in Guernsey County, if you're in Monroe County, Ohio, it's worth the fucking drive. Get your ass down, book you an appointment, sit in this chair, and let this man cut you up right. That's Good Old Boys Barbershop, downtown Caldwell, just off the square. Hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully everything goes to plan. I'm sure it probably won't. I'll have to go to backup plan, but I know as long as she's there and my family with the Warthogs are there, it's going to be a great time. So to take you guys down memory lane, the first picture that I have of us together is March 15, 2022 was our first motorcycle ride. She had never been on a motorcycle before. So we met, like I said, at Boathouse in Marietta. I brought my truck. It was still kind of cool at the time we had met. And we took our first date. It has so many good memories. She will always tell everybody that I was underdressed for our first date. And for people who know me and know who I am now would kind of understand. So I went to our first date in a pair of blue jeans, my nicest Harley Davidson shirt with sleeves. It didn't have any holes in it. It wasn't dirty. It was a nice shirt. Steel-toed boots. I think that was it. I don't think I had a hat on. But like I thought that was like I dressed nice-ish for me. Like 90% of my shirts don't have sleeves. And the ones that do are mostly Harley Davidson shirts or like graphic t-shirts. So I was like, well, I don't really want to wear like a weird graphic t-shirt on my first date. And I kind of want to look semi-presentable in a pair of jeans that's not fucking soaked in grease or dirt. So I felt like I did a good job. with what I picked out. But she will always tell people that she thought I was underdressed for our first date, and she wore this nice dressy shirt with a pair of jeans. I kind of felt like we semi dressed like the same. I like to pick on her about it, but it's just another one of the things. That's one thing about our relationship is we joke so much with each other, and it never hurts each other's feelings. We've never dug too deep. She's really good at taking jokes, but she's really good at dishing it back out to me. So we find humor in that, and that's part of our love language, I guess you could say, is we enjoy picking on each other, but yet like we know that it's in joking, and we're not too harsh about it. Another big thing about our relationship is we both love to play games, board games. She likes to play the Nintendo Switch, so she's kind of like a video gamer, but not too deep into it. But we enjoy playing games together. We enjoy being competitive with each other. We enjoy rubbing it in each other's face when the other person loses. That's just part of our relationship that I absolutely love. We connect on those levels and we enjoy it and have fun with each other. But it just, man, it feels like 3 years has gone by so fast. I really feel like it has with her and I. And I can't be more thankful that I found her in my life. I started talking to her right when I got this new job, and just thought, if I'm going to turn a new leaf, I'm going to turn it all together. So I got this new job and started talking to her throughout the whole process. And it's been an amazing process throughout. I really can't say much bad about it. I really think it's been great. She's always been by my back. There's more things I want to say about her, but I'll get to it. But anyway, she had never been on a bike before she met me, and she was super nervous. Our first motorcycle trip was up to Fort Borman in West Virginia. We took just a small little ride, got clear up on top of the park and kind of looked down over the town. And just, I don't really remember too much about that first ride. I just know she was really nervous, and I told her, like, because you're not used to being on a motorcycle, just sit still, let me handle the bike. Don't worry about doing anything. Just sit there and look pretty, and look forward. I mean, you can look around, but don't move around too much, and I'll take care of this. And I took a picture of us on our first ride, and she has a smile just ear to ear. I know she loved it. I got her hooked ever since. I really believe that she enjoyed it, and she's told me to this day she absolutely loves getting on the bike with me and going places like we do. I've got all sorts of pictures of her and I together. Her and I, early on in our relationship, I think it's what new couples do. They take a lot of pictures of each other, and it's not that we don't take a bunch of pictures of each other now, but we still do. I still have pictures of us. I think yesterday, I think we pulled out of the driveway, and just before we pulled out, I was like, "Hey, can we get a picture together? Because you look really cute today, and I think I look half-ass presentable." So we laugh and giggle about it. So the next series of pictures that I took of us that I wanted to bring up was when we went to Pittsburgh for our Russ concert. Um, I've just never been a big concert goer. Wasn't really big on going to concerts, but I know she was a big Russ fan. She actually got me into listening to a lot of his music that I really like now. And I scrolled across the video of her and I at Top Golf, and she knows that I like to shoot balls at Top Golf and stuff, but like I'm not a good golfer by any means, but I like to go out and fuck around. And she told me, she's like, I'm not good at it. I just want you to know. She's like, I'm gonna have fun with you because you're there, but at the same time, like I'm not very good at it. And just watching this video of her half-ass swing, and I was trying to teach her, like, you have to swing the club above your head and then come through and put power into the ball. And just one thing I can remember about that trip and just watching this video, it didn't matter what club she used, she would only hit it like 50 yards maybe, and it would hit the ground after 10 yards and roll 40 yards, it seemed like. But it didn't matter what club she used, she was very consistent. Right after that picture, I have another picture of us going on our breeze ride, June 4th, 2022. I believe that was her first Warthog event that I ever took her to, which is, in my eyes, it's really good because that's one of my favorite rides of the year. But for her, it's a memorial ride too, so it's also a very somber moment with some good friends of mine that we have for somebody that the Bel Air chapter lost that unfortunately I never got the chance to meet. But I definitely enjoy that ride. But probably one of my favorite pictures of her and I that I've ever taken was just before we left the house that day. I don't know what it is about her eyes, just look super blue in the picture, and my eyes look like they're matching her eyes, and we just look good together. She's got a little headband on, I got a do-rag on. and I think it just looked really cute. I've saved that picture, and I've got it printed out somewhere here at the house. I know for a fact because it's one of my favorites. And she'll probably say the same thing. She knows that it's one of my favorite pictures of her and I that I've ever taken. There's pictures of her and I at the bike show for her first Cambridge bike show. I think she really enjoyed herself that way, and she also got to meet all of the Cambridge members at our first bike show too. I know she'd probably met most of them at the Breeze Ride, but to get in with some of the guys' girlfriends, wives, whatever, so that way she would feel comfortable riding the motorcycle with me and being with the club. I think she's done that, and I think that we've had a great time with the club. She's definitely grown with some of the old ladies, and I think she has just as much fun as I do, even just spending time with some of the old ladies with the club. I found a picture of us when we went to Zambezi Bay for our first double date we went on with Stevens and Tasha. We took Stevens' kids up to Zambezi Bay, and I remember that day like it was fucking yesterday too. It feels like, because I told her like I'm a big water slide person. I like going down water slides, and I know she wasn't. And I was trying to find a way to ask her like, "Hey, can I just do like a couple water slides and then spend some time with you?" And before I could even get the words out of my mouth, she was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, you can go ride rides with Stevens and the boys, and her and Tasha were gonna just lay out and cook in the sun, and then we could get in the lazy river later. But she's like, you go ahead and do your thing. I'm not upset with you if you want to." And I was like, "Are you sure? Like, I really don't want to. I don't want you to be upset or something." She's like, "No, I want you to have fun too." She's like, "You can go do whatever." She's like, "Me and Tasha sit back and talk." And I was super excited because she read my mind, and that was only just a few months of us into really dating and getting to know each other, but she knew everything about me way before I thought she did. She's a great reader of people, being in her social work degree that she has. And I call her my puzzle piece. And I'm sure I'll talk about this later on, but like, I really did feel like that when her and I met and we started dating and we really got into getting to know each other and what we had for each other. She just felt like that puzzle piece that I needed to complete my puzzle. I noticed that super early on. I This is super corny as fuck of me, but just one of the things that I thought was cute. I left her house one day to go back to my place so I could get ready for work, and I took a sticky note and I traced out a puzzle piece and I cut it out and left it like a little note for her. And she's kept it in her car for as long as I've had it and gave it to her. And when I get in the car and I see it when I'm driving with her, she still keeps it tucked in her sun visor. And I think it's just the cutest thing because I really do truly believe that she's my puzzle piece. She's the one that just fits perfectly into my life. She was exactly what I needed, and I needed her more than she'll ever realize. I'm so glad that she still puts up with my bullshit every fucking day. But on to the next thing, the next picture that I have. This was kind of when I was starting to pick back up with the podcast. No, I was doing season 1. She had got me at like a movie poster of the podcast logo. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. Like, I know she's not a fan of getting on the podcast. Every time I've asked her to be a guest, she's not 1,000% like, "Oh yeah, I can't wait. Let's jump on together." She'll do it if I absolutely need her to. And I really appreciate it of her because sometimes it's just better to have a guest. Like, you feel like you have more topics to talk about if you have a guest with you. So the next pictures I have of us were our Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. That was another motorcycle event that we took. I think she had a great time. I'm not really sure if she had already had interest in the Flight 93 Memorial or if she'd ever wanted to go, but I told her that I had wanted to go. Had always wanted to go and see the memorial, and I knew they had a ride coming up, so her and I had went. That was our first really big ride, I think, probably the longest ride we had taken up to that point. She did a great job sitting on a motorcycle that long. Of course, she had had enough by the time the day was over. We had rode from Southeast Ohio all the way up to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, hung out there. I don't think we stayed the night that night, did we? Yes, we did. We got a hotel and we stayed the night. Came back the next morning on the 28th, rode all the way back. And I could definitely tell she was tired. She had had enough, but she had a good time. I think she really enjoyed herself at that ride too. And I appreciate her being my backpack too. Like, I do a lot of things with the motorcycle club, and I just love that she wants to be a part of it. She's willing to do the things that I like to do. And we try to bounce that back and forth. I like doing things that she likes to do, even if it kind of sucks that I got to get drug into them, but I still like spending time with her. Like, her and I both talked about it here recently. I asked her if she wanted to go to the grocery store. And I heard somebody kind of talk about the same thing either on Facebook or TikTok, or I can't remember where I heard it from, but I asked her to go to the grocery store with me, not because I needed her to go to the grocery store with me, but I just like spending time with her. And especially with the shift that we work now, we don't really see each other a lot other than in the evenings. But when I was working second shift, even, we really didn't see each other much. I was leaving for work and she was already gone. By the time she was getting home, it was only 3-4 hours into my shift. So we just didn't really see each other a whole lot. But then it turns back around. She asks me to go to the grocery store. As much as I really didn't want to go to the grocery store, I kind of just wanted to sit around the house and be lazy. I knew she was doing the same thing. She asked me if I would go to the store with her so she could spend time with me. So we enjoy spending time with each other, even if it's doing things that we really don't like to do. At least we're spending the time with each other that we enjoy. The next picture that I have was Jonathan and Bailey's wedding. Her and I getting all gussied up. I was one of Jonathan's groomsmen, so I had a great time there. And I have just one picture, unfortunately, of her and I at the wedding together. But just seeing her in a dress, she just looked fucking hot. She's so fucking cute. I love everything about her. The next picture I have was a motorcycle ride we took up to see the Muskie Bucket in Southeast Ohio. She took a hilarious picture of me that it says emergency and authorized vehicles only past this point, and I'm standing on top of the rock that has the sign in it, and I'm flipping the sign off. And I have this video too that I'm watching, and she's like, "So I really don't understand what this is all about." And I told her, I was like, "It's just a big bucket, and it scoops a lot of dirt." And she took a video of it. She's like, "Can you say that again? Because it was just funny how you explained it to me." So she took a video, and I'm pointing at this big bucket, and she's like, "What is that?" And I was like, it's a big bucket, and it's used to scoop dirt." And she just laughing and giggling, and like I said, we act like children. We really do. It's just kind of the way we are with each other. We both love it. We both love that our relationship feels like it just started yesterday. I've got pictures of us carving pumpkins together for the first time at the old apartment. Um, her showing off her artistic ability and putting me in the fucking dirt. Of course, my pumpkin's got a cigar hanging out of its mouth and a bush light sitting beside it. I have the first Halloween party that we went to where we cross dressed. She dressed as me with motorcycle boots, jeans, and a cutoff. She also took makeup and put it on her face to make it look like my beard with a bandana. And then I have on a pair of Hey Dudes with leggings, a tank top with a cardigan, a wig. And this was the only time, well, I can't say the only times I've ever worn makeup is on Halloween. And I remember this day too. Ohio State was playing that day of the Halloween party. I can't remember who they were playing. I'll probably have to look up the date, see if I can find out who they were playing. But I was sitting on the end of the bed watching the Ohio State game, and she's like, "Hey, babe, we got to get ready for the Halloween party. I need to do your makeup." And of course, I wasn't the most ecstatic about having my makeup done, but I was like, "All right, well, we'll do this, I suppose." And I was sitting at the end of the bed watching the Ohio State game, and she's like, "I need you to pay attention to me, and I need you to do what I'm asking you to do." And I'm like, "Sweetheart, the Ohio State game." So I'm like, I'm trying to do what you want me to do, but I'm also trying to watch this Buckeye game, and it was just funny, just trying to compromise with her. And that's one of the moments I remember about she laughed about. It was a good time. The next picture that I have was our first trip up to watch the game, is one of the motorcycle events that we go to, where Ohio State plays Michigan. We rode up to um, Cleveland with some of our brothers up there to watch the Ohio State Michigan game back in 2022. They shoot the game up on a big projector screen. They close the whole bar down. It's only warthogs that are allowed in this event. They feed us. It's a great time. It's a nice place to smoke some cigars and hang out with some of the dudes and watch some football. So I've got her there. She's not a diehard football fan, but I think I'm turning her into a Buckeyes fan. So I'm super excited about that. I remember something special about that day was I had bought some raffle tickets for a bottle of Woodford Reserve that had the motorcycle club emblem etched in it. It also came with like a little serving tray with the emblem etched in it and 2 rock glasses that also had the emblem etched in it. And I'd only bought a couple take chances on it. And she's like, you should buy a couple more chances, or I'll give you money to buy a couple more chances. I was like, no, I'm probably not going to win it anyways. It ain't no big deal. We don't really need it. She's like, no, you should really get it. It would be something nice to get and to have. So I bought a couple more chances, and lo and behold, I won that bottle. It's sitting underneath the TV stand. I've never opened the bottle. I don't even think I've ever used the rock glasses. I think everything's just sitting there kind of as a decoration. And I like it because the bottle is etched and everything is etched. It's like a nice little set that we have. But I know she talked me into getting more tickets. Sometimes she enables me on my bullshit. I definitely love that about her. She's not afraid to get in with the shenanigans. The next picture that I have was the first Warthog Christmas party that we were a part of back in 2022. Don't have her in the picture, but I believe she took the picture of all of us. And I just remember that was the first time like I wanted her to pair up with her in cornhole. And she was like, I'm not really good at cornhole. And she knows like I'm decent at it. I'm kind of competitive when it comes to cornhole. So I was super excited, hoping that she was going to be willing to go. And she's like, I don't think so. I don't know if her and I even played that day or not, or if it was me and Corey. I can't remember. But the next picture I have was the poker chip holder that she sent me. That was fucking amazing. I thought that was gorgeous. Like I said, it was my favorite gift. And to update everybody, my new favorite gift of ever giving is going to be this engagement ring. I can't fucking wait to give it to her. The next picture I have is the matching pajamas that she bought us in 2022. The first time I've ever done matching pajamas. I'm not much of a pajama guy, really, but we made breakfast. We sat and watched movies. I believe I don't know if I had to work that day or not. I can't remember. I'm sure I did. I was still new with the department, so I'm sure I probably had to work that shift. But we in the morning we got up early and spent it with each other. Pictures of her imitating me with a fake cigar in her mouth and a hat backwards. Me leaving work early to take her out to dinner, and she's got a margarita in her hand, sipping out of it. And I put a little caption on it that says, "I would choose to lock in this cutie every day over where I work at." And I truly believe that. Like, there's some times that are just meant for us to spend with each other, and I'm super glad that she's willing to set aside time and I'm willing to set aside time. We make it work to spend time with each other. I still feel like that's a major part of why our relationship goes as smooth as it does. More pictures of us on the bike. Like I said, most of our summers are spent on the motorcycle. That's why I'm so glad that she's learned to love it just as much as I have. She'll ask if we can go on motorcycle rides in the summertime. I don't have to ask her, hey, do you want to go for a ride? She asks me. She's like, hey, can we go for a ride? Can you get the bike out so we can go for a ride? I'd like to go do that. I'm like, fuck yeah, we can go for a ride. She bought me Just Cuz cigars one time. That was probably a really cool gift that I should have added, but it wasn't really a Christmas gift, I guess. But I have a picture of some cigars that she had bought me. Our first rendezvous together. We didn't go in 2022 to the rendezvous. We went to the 2023 rendezvous in Pittsburgh. Massive event. Pittsburgh did a great job putting on that rendezvous. We had an amazing time with it. I don't believe that we ran into any rain that time. I know rendezvous are kind of hard to figure out when we're going to get rain and trying to figure out how we're going to dodge it. But I think we stayed dry for the most part that weekend. I don't think we got any rain there, but I know we had a good time. Once again, a decent trip for us going up to Pittsburgh. Then I've got pictures of when we went on our couples retreat to the Timbrook Guest House in Columbus. Doing the different things that we did at Otherworld and Scene 75. Our first trip to Kai's Crab Boil, which is now our favorite place to eat. We've done it. We did it in 23 and we did it in 24. So I wonder if that's going to be a yearly thing for us, or I'm not quite sure. But I know I enjoy it. I was never a big crab fan until I met her, and she has turned me into somebody that absolutely loves crab now. I love going to those seafood boils. It's delicious. We love going to Kai's. Picture of us hanging out in the hot tub, drinking hot tub beers for our little date day that we had. The next pictures that we took were the professional pictures that her and I had taken. I'm not a super photogenic person. I like to be fucking stupid when I take pictures and make funny faces, but she had paid money to have decent pictures taken of us, and I wanted to make sure that I looked half-ass presentable for those. So we got professional pictures taken. They were really good. They turned out great. I've got one of them set as my background on my phone. It just turns out great, and it's just, I don't know. For me, it's a picture of where our relationship is now, and just kind of cute, I think. Then I've got pictures of us working on this new house, and I can't thank her enough for going through that whole process with me. And she didn't have to. I knew she didn't have to. She knew I was buying the house. She had mentioned about buying the furniture and appliances and stuff. She was going to help out with that since I was doing the down payment and getting everything ready for the house. But all the shit that we had to burn and get rid of, and all the things that we had to do to get the house ready and clear an inspection. There's a video that my brother took that is probably one of my favorite videos of her. Like, my brother pulls her into frame, and him and her both smile just kind of weird and awkwardly. And it's just, she makes the cutest face. I'm going to put it as my screensaver for her when she calls, but just cute. I got a picture of the last time we were at the apartment and getting it all cleaned up. Like, we were doing so much cleaning and all kinds of work to get the apartment or the house that we were renting cleaned up and get ready to move into this new house. Then we took pictures of the new house, and the only thing we had up in that house at the time was the Christmas tree. I don't even think we had a couch in the living room. I think we had to get like a little stool that we put the camera up on so that we could take the picture with just the Christmas tree in our new house, trying to get everything moved into it, knowing how big of a Christmas fan that she is. There's videos from the 2023 Christmas party of her and I doing the races together and some of the fun games that we played. I know she wasn't super ecstatic about doing them, but we had a blast. I wish I would have taken pictures of her when she gets drunk. She doesn't do it often, but when she does get drunk and she gets toasty, man, she gets emotional. She'll cry for 5 minutes, and then like she's super hungry after she's done crying. I remember most of the times when she does get drunk, it's with friends of ours, and we always have the same conversation when she's drunk. She's got to pee, and she forgets that she has to pee, and then she starts crying because she gets emotional and she doesn't know why she's crying. And then after that, she's like, "I'm really hungry. Do you think we can stop at Taco Bell?" We always wind up stopping at Taco Bell. We have pictures of her and I playing Rummy Cube, probably one of our favorite games that we play together. She really enjoys it, and I think she enjoys it so much because she's good at it and she beats the fuck out of it. Found a picture of the dress shirt she was wearing like the first day that we had met outside of Tinder. That was another big thing that I don't know if a lot of people know about how her and I relationship started. We met on Tinder. Um, we both swiped on each other and we talked for a while on Tinder till I finally got her Snapchat and her phone number. Talked a little bit then. I told her, I was like, hey, we need to meet. I'd really like to take you out to dinner. So took her out to the boathouse, and that's how our relationship started almost 3 years ago now. So Tinder's not always just for a quick meetup. I mean, her and I have, I feel like, proved that wrong. But then I have a picture of her and I and her sister and brother-in-law all at a WWE event. Her sister and brother-in-law were big WWE fans. That's where she's at tonight, is at a WWE event. But pulled us back into watching it and just kind of gives us all something that we have in common. Then I've got a picture of young little tiny Goose. Um, it's a funny story behind that too. I wasn't a big fan of getting a Boston Terrier when she had talked about it, but I knew how important Boston Terriers were to her. I mentioned in another podcast before that I was looking at getting another big dog, but she had asked about a Boston Terrier after she had just graduated college, and one had come available, so I felt it was necessary to let her get a Boston Terrier. That way she had a dog, I had a dog, and she had the cat also. But getting our blended family all together. There was a picture that I took of her at one of our favorite restaurants here in town. The picture that I have is her staring at me like I am fucking stupid. Just a dead serious face with her mouth just like, you could tell she's mad at me. I can't remember exactly what I said to piss her off, but she wasn't the happiest with me. I've got pictures of her and I at another breeze ride, another bike show, another WWE event, a rendezvous in Michigan. She had a really good time with that. That was the first time that I was kind of put to a test on our way back from Michigan for being a road captain. I know she enjoys riding behind the pack also, but she's done really good helping me out with doing road captain shit. She likes to co-pilot from the back of the bike. Kind of up to more recent pictures, just back in October for Halloween when her and I dressed up as Shrek and Fiona. I know she's a diehard Shrek fan, and she had come up with the idea about doing it, and she wanted to paint my face and head green, and she did. And I know that all of the paint had come off fairly easily, other than on my hands for some reason. And I had green paint on my hands for weeks after. I know guys at work were still asking me, like, when are you going to get that off? I'm like, it's not for a lack of trying. I've been scrubbing the fuck out of my hands with fucking SOS pads trying to get fucking the green off of it. Then I've got pictures of our last ride that we took together this year. Was our first time ever going out around Wolf Run Lake. Tried to recreate a picture that my grandpa and his girlfriend took. It was the last bike ride that I had taken with him. So I enjoyed that. So obviously I'm going to cut this podcast down. It's showing me 47 minutes. I know that I've not recorded for a full 47 minutes. I've paused a lot and I've had to re-say some things. But just to kind of wrap this up, I want to thank everybody that knew about this whole process. All the guys from the motorcycle club, some of the friends that I had that helped me through the whole process, some family that I was talking to and trying to get this whole process going, and people helping me keep the secret, people being there and talking to me and telling me that it's not, there's no need to be nervous. I've told people, especially within this week, like as it boils down to it and it's coming down to the days, like, I don't know, it's just like the nerves are setting in, but at the same time, like I know she's going to say yes. We've talked about this before. I'm one of those people that once I've settled down and I'm not going anywhere. We had both talked about how serious a marriage would be for us. We both come from divided homes, we've come from divided families, and we've both talked that if we were to ever get married, we are gonna work it through no matter what, because we don't want our kids, God willing we ever have any, to go through some of the things that we did growing up. And I really believe that this girl is going to be my forever person. There's nobody else in life that I've ever wanted more than Kristen. And I can't thank her enough, like I said, for continuing to put up with my bullshit day after day. I can't thank her enough for eating some of the shitty food that I've cooked and telling me that it's okay, like it's not that bad, but knowing deep down that she fucking hates it. I can't thank her enough for taking some of the long motorcycle rides that we do and knowing that she gets uncomfortable and she gets overstimulated with some of the loud noises and the wind hitting her in the face for too long and just ready to be done. But I know that she enjoys doing it with me. So she says that everything's okay, but she's putting up with it. I can't thank her enough for putting up with me and having patience with working on this house and trying to get projects done. If anybody does renovation work with their house, they know that that's a process. And thank God she's cool with me making it a process, because she could be one of those people who want it done and want it done now. And especially with this house that we've been in, it seems like every time we try to fix something, it always takes 7 business days to fucking do a 1-day project. But I can't wait until tomorrow. I've had mixed emotions. Not that I'm not going to propose to her, but just like I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I can't wait for this to happen, but at the same time, it's not that there's any doubt either in the back of my head. I know she's going to say yes. I'm 100% sure she's going to be cool with it. And I guess if she's not, and I'm not right, then I'm going to have to delete this podcast and you guys will never even hear this. But I know that that's not a possibility. I know she's ready. And I just think it's going to be great spending the rest of my life with my puzzle piece. And I can't wait to do it. So thank you guys for listening to all my gushy fucking bullshit. I just needed to get all this off my chest and share all this out with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this podcast. Probably some of you won't, because it's not really anything to tie into. What I can tell you is if you're in a relationship and it feels like it's getting stale, be the person who makes a change. Be the person that brings up the change to make things to where they're not stale. Everybody's relationship gets stale. It fucking happens. Find something that you and your partner can do together, or find something that rekindles that spark. If I've learned anything from this whole process, is relationships are one of the toughest things to make work. They truly are. It's not something that comes easy to anybody. And if you say that your relationship has come easy to you this whole time, you're probably doing something wrong. You're going to have hiccups. You're going to have things that get in the way. It's not about the adversity. It's how you handle it. And I think her and I have both agreed that we do our absolute best, and we continue to work until we find a solution to the adversity that her and I face. And that's one thing, if I can't say anything that I love about her more, is just that her and I are on the same path. As if we see adversity or we're dealing with adversity, we don't turn our back from it. Her and I both will head straight into it and find a solution that works best for everybody and how we're going to draw up a game plan. And sometimes she's the person that will turn away from adversity and try to take a step back, and sometimes I am too, but it seems like when one of us are like that, the other one is right there with us saying we have to push through this. We can't stop. We can't focus on all the negative things. We have to handle this adversity. So I want to thank you, Kristen. I know you're hopefully going to listen to this if you can make it through this. And thank you so much for being my puzzle piece. Thank you for being the person that's gotten me through the last 3 years. And I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. For everybody listening to this podcast, thank you guys so much. It's you guys that make this podcast what it is. I'm just a guy laying in my bed with a microphone in my hand, sharing memories, and you guys are the ones that enjoy listening to this. So thank you guys so much for all that you do. I ask that you share, like, comment, subscribe, whatever the fuck it is you got to do to help me out. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year. I hope you're starting it with your partners. And if you haven't found your partner yet, I hope you find that person that just is your puzzle piece. Until next time, guys, keep that stogie nice and warm. Keep those whiskey glasses nice and cold. And keep your whistle wet with your favorite beverage. And until next time, stay wobbled. Thank you.